Okay, real quick, let's go over the tools you're going to need for this job. First off, let's start with our PPE, a respirator. Okay, I highly recommend that if you don't have some type of evacuation system for overspray. Safety glasses. Okay. Rubber gloves are always good because this stuff stains, obviously. Okay. We're going to have acetone for cleanup, for cleaning out your mixing cup and cleaning out your gun. I recommend cleaning your gun out between every mix. If you have to mix multiple cups to coat whatever you're working on, I recommend spraying some acetone through it in between. I use a little electric pressure regulator, and this has got a swivel head on it. I think this stuff was sourced through Big R or Harbor Freight. You can get them too. And this is a Harbor Freight special. This is just a trim gun, and it seems to work really well for the Cerakote, so that you're not mixing big amounts of your Cerakote. A little bit goes a long way with this stuff, and it is pricey, but it's a quality product. So yeah, mixing cup with milliliters. Anything, you can find these on Amazon and stuff, I'm sure, as well. I get this from a local paint supply store. And then a pipette or some type of syringe that you can measure milliliters accurately, because it is, the H series is a two-part system like we go over in the video. You've got your part A, your actual base, and you have got your catalyst. Okay, so make sure when you order, you're ordering exactly what you need. This is H100 catalyst. This is graphite black, and the part number for it is H146, and it is an oven cure Cerakote. They do have air cure. They've got some that are more suited for polymers like plastics, and those bake at a lower temperature. And then you'll obviously need an oven of some sorts, whether you piss off your wife and throw it in the oven in the house, or if you've got a powder coating oven in the shop, that'll work too. Hey, thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Hey everybody, Michael. Sorry about that. Michael with Juggernaut Weld Fab. Today, we're going to go over applying Cerakote. Okay? We are going to be Cerakoting a set of stainless headers. So I'm going to go over the process that I use and that's recommended for application. So I took my stainless headers, and after modifying them, I went ahead and media blasted them with, I believe it's an 80 grit, just a coal slag, and I try to get my pattern a little further away so that you get more of a spread out uniform pattern. Otherwise, if you get up real close, you could get some lines in it and it won't be very uniform, and you'll see that after the coating. You'll see the blast profile. So today we're going to be using our H series. This is a graphite black, and it is a two-part system. You've got your main component, and then you've got your catalyst, okay? And you can download the instructions for this, and you can adjust the amount of catalyst for what finish you want, whether you want glossy, kind of a semi-gloss, or more of a flat. And what I'm going to do today is the standard kind of a semi-gloss. And that's going to be 18 parts of your main Cerakote to 1 part of your catalyst. So, and they recommend a 100 mesh strainer. So I have found the easiest way for me is to get these paint mixing cups from my local paint store, automotive paint store. You can order them online as well. But what we're going to do, this stuff a little bit goes a long way. It's really watery. So, you know, it's a little deceiving at first. You think you're going to need more, but a little bit goes a long way. So what we're going to mix up today is 50 milliliters of our color, our base, 50 ml of this. Make sure you mix it up really good for like 5 minutes. Shake this bad boy up. And then, because it does separate as it sits. So we're going to put 50 ml of our Cerakote Part 1, and we're going to put 2.75 ml of our catalyst. And that should give us our semi-gloss coat. So I have already outgassed my headers. So I went ahead and put them in the oven at 300 for an hour, just to bake off any excess oils that you may have gotten on it, fingerprints, things like that. And it helps bake out any acetone or brake clean, whichever you use to clean your parts with. I used acetone and a cotton rag, got them all cleaned up after sandblasting, and then baked them in the oven for an hour at 300 degrees. So we'll go ahead and get this stuff mixed up. I've found that using these little pipettes works really well. To the top of the line is 1 ml. You could also use a syringe or a small like children's medicine cup, like off of Robitussin or something. But let me get some gloves on and we'll get to mixing. And something else is I have been just using a cheap Harbor Freight trim gun. I've got a really nice Cerakote paint gun, but honestly, it's a little oversized for what we're using it for. We're only going to be getting about 2 to 3 inches away from our material, and this will help us get in the nice tight nooks and crannies so we get a uniform coat. So I'm going to go ahead and, like I said, mix that stuff up really well. And we're going for 50 ml. We're right at the 50. Cap that stuff off. This stuff's really expensive, so you want to try not to spill it. Perfect. So take our strainer out. Now this stuff's pretty thick. It's kind of syrupy, so it may take a second to suck it up into your pipette. So you want to let that fill up and then go ahead and drain it back down to your 1 ml mark. So that is exactly 1 ml right there. Add that in, and we're going for 2.75 ml for a 50 ml mix, or total volume, 50 ml total volume. And again, you can look at the instructions and it'll tell you how much to put in to achieve a different desired gloss. Go ahead and make sure you get all of that squeezed out of there. Cap it off. And we're gonna mix this up really good, okay? We're gonna mix this up real good. I like to use a paint stick. Make sure we're getting it completely mixed. And like I said, this stuff is really watery compared to automotive paint or anything like that, if you've ever sprayed automotive paint. So you want to be careful with it when you go to apply it. Like I said, we'll probably be running about 25 CFM on our gun. I've got a little digital regulator that I use, but you can use an analog or a mechanical regulator as well. And you're going to be spraying 2 to 3 inches away. I would recommend testing it on a piece of cardboard or something prior to make sure you've got your flow on your gun set correctly. I try to go a little light with the first coat to kind of give it something to stick to. Again, the reason you media blast it is to get a nice uniform surface for this stuff to stick to. If we tried to spray this on our polished headers, we would probably have we'd have problems with runs. So we've got that mixed up. I'm going to go ahead and get my regulator and my gun set up, and we're going to go ahead and start spraying. Okay, I'm going to try to give you guys a nice close-up shot. I've got my airflow at 25 CFM, and that's flowing air pressure. So you want to go ahead and pull your trigger and adjust your regulator from there, okay? And I like to clock my fan just a little bit for getting in tight spots there. If you've got it running sideways, your fan's going to be straight up and down. If you've got this clocked to the side, it'll be running across. And again, we're going to be spraying pretty close. It doesn't seem like you would want to spray that close, but you do. That's what they call for. And I've actually got, I went ahead and capped off these EGT probe bungs on here. I went ahead and capped those off, and those are just powder coating caps. Anything that you want to keep the material off of, I would recommend masking off the surfaces. Now, I'm going to go ahead and spray the entire thing, but I am not going to spray this face of the V-band. I will go ahead and spray the flange. That will not affect proper sealing. And you can see I'm kind of spraying a little further back than 2 inches just for my first coat. Like I said, I like to get a nice base coat going on. And you can adjust your flow with your gun. I've got this booth that is pulling the overspray, and it works really well. Otherwise, if I was just spraying out in the open, I would definitely be wearing a respirator. But this booth pulls the overspray pretty well. So we've got our base coat. We'll go ahead and wait for this to flash over, and what you're waiting for is the wet portions to turn flat, okay? You'll see it dry. Let's let that flash over and we'll hit it with the second coat. Okay, we're fully flashed here. You can tell because it's got that flat appearance. It looks as though it's dried. Okay, so we're ready to go on with our second coat. Like I said, I'm going to go on a little heavier with this coat, a little closer, and really get in those nooks and crannies and try to get everything uniform. Since I'm going to be flowing more, I am going to go ahead and put my respirator on. If you don't have a booth to suck away the vapors, I would definitely recommend using a respirator. So let's get to it. Also, I've got my oven preheating to 250. So here we go. Now, while we're waiting for this to flash, this coat, we're going to do 3 coats. I've had the best luck with 3 coats. Definitely wear resistant. This ceramic coating will help keep some of the heat inside the header, and it just looks bitchin', doesn't it? So right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go rinse my mix cup out with some acetone, just in case we need to mix another batch up for the other header. But I like to mix less than mix too much. It's pretty pricey. You don't want to waste it. Okay, it's been about 15 minutes. And what I did was I went ahead and took that time to mix up that Cerakote a little more just in case we need that other batch. Get our respirator on. That actually worked out perfect. So 50 ml was about perfect for one header. 3 coats, and again, your mix ratio for standard gloss is 18:1. So 18 parts Cerakote, 1 part catalyst, and we went ahead and mixed that up, sprayed, waited for it to flash between each coat, I don't know, roughly 10 to 15 minutes, and now it's ready to bake. But what we're going to do is I'm going to hang this over here, get our second one hung up, and go ahead and mix up another batch. Now, how I got that number was I took 50 ml and divided that by 18, and that came out to 2.75. That's how I knew my mix ratio. So let's go ahead and get the other one done up, mix another batch. Now we've got everything coated. Check all your nooks and crannies to make sure it's all evenly coated. Got 3 coats on each. Wait for them to fully flash. You want it to look like this. Wait for them to fully flash before putting them in the oven. We're going to go ahead and put those in the oven for 2 hours at 350. All right, they're going in the oven, 350 degrees, 2 hours. Okay guys, this is the finished product. Fully Cerakoted headers. They just got done baking. 2 hours at 250 degrees. They turned out awesome. Please subscribe and like our videos. It really helps us. It's at Juggernaut Weld Fab on social media. Thanks. Hope you learned something.